I've been coming to this cafe every morning for 3 months now, and I still feel like a complete stranger in this city.
3 months can feel like forever when you're alone. What brought you here?
A job opportunity I couldn't refuse. The salary was incredible, the position was perfect, but I left everything behind. My friends, my family, my entire support system.
That's a huge sacrifice. Do you ever regret it?
Sometimes, especially on weekends. During the week, work keeps me distracted, but Saturdays and Sundays are brutal. I'll spend entire days without speaking to anyone except my delivery driver.
Have you tried joining any groups or activities here?
I've downloaded about 5 different apps for making friends. I went to 2 meetups, but everyone already seemed to know each other. I felt like I was intruding on established friendships.
That initial barrier is always the hardest. What did you used to do back home for fun?
My best friend and I had this tradition. Every Thursday night, we'd try a new restaurant, then walk around the neighborhood talking about everything and nothing. I miss those conversations more than anything.
Have you told her how you're feeling?
We video chat, but it's not the same. She's living her life, going to parties, meeting new people. I don't want to burden her with my loneliness. She'll just feel guilty that she can't help.
Loneliness has this way of making us isolate ourselves even more. We think we're protecting others, but really we're just making it worse for ourselves.
Exactly. And the worst part is I'm surrounded by people all day at work, but I've never felt more alone. Surface-level conversations about projects and deadlines don't fill that void.
Quality versus quantity. You can be in a room full of people and still feel invisible.
That's exactly it. Sometimes I catch myself talking out loud at home just to hear a voice, even if it's my own. How pathetic is that?
It's not pathetic at all. It's human. We're social creatures. We need connection like we need air.
I keep telling myself it'll get better with time, but what if it doesn't? What if I've made a terrible mistake coming here?
Time helps, but only if you're actively working toward building connections. You've already taken the first step by being honest about how you feel.
I suppose talking to you right now is more genuine conversation than I've had in weeks. Thank you for listening.
That's what I'm here for. And for what it's worth, you're not a stranger anymore. You're a regular. I appreciate you bringing over those cookies. You didn't have to do that.
I made too many anyway. Plus, I realized we've been neighbors for a year and barely know each other. How are you settling in?
Settling in? I've lived in this house for 40 years. It's just that now it feels too big, too quiet.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you'd been here that long.
My wife passed 2 years ago. We raised 3 children in this house. Now they're scattered across the country, busy with their own lives. I understand, of course, but the silence is deafening.
Do they visit often?
Twice a year if I'm lucky. They call every Sunday like clockwork, but those conversations last maybe 15 minutes. They ask if I'm eating well, if I'm taking my medications. Then they have to run because the kids need something or work is calling.
That must feel incredibly isolating.
I retired from teaching 5 years ago, thinking my wife and I would travel, spend time together. Then she got sick. After she died, I realized my entire social circle was through her friends, her book club, her charity work.
You didn't maintain those connections?
At first, people would call, invite me to things out of pity, but eventually they stopped. I was the odd one out, the single man in a world of couples. Plus, everything reminded me of her, and I couldn't hide my grief well enough for social occasions.
Grief doesn't have a timeline. People should understand that.
They say they do, but there's an expiration date on sympathy. After a few months, everyone expects you to move on, to be fine again. But how do you move on from 42 years of marriage?
I can't imagine. What does a typical day look like for you now?
I wake up around 6, old habits from teaching. I make coffee for 2, then remember I only need 1 cup. I watch the news, do the crossword puzzle, maybe work in the garden. The days just blend together.
Have you considered joining any clubs or volunteer organizations?
I've thought about it. The senior center has activities, but walking in there alone feels like admitting defeat, like I'm officially old and alone and have nowhere else to go.
Or it could be a chance to meet people who understand what you're going through.
Perhaps you're right. The hardest part is the evenings. That's when she and I would sit on the porch discussing our day. Now I sit out there alone, talking to her as if she's still here.
Maybe she is, in a way, but you also deserve living companionship, people who can talk back, share new experiences with you.
I know you're right. It's just that taking that first step feels impossible. What if I go and realize I don't fit in anywhere anymore?
What if you go and find exactly what you've been missing? You were a teacher for decades. You know how to connect with people.
That was different. I had a role, a purpose. Now I'm just a lonely old man with too much time and too many memories.
You're also someone with 40 years of wisdom, stories, and experiences to share. That's valuable. And for what it's worth, I'd love to have coffee together sometime.
I'd like that very much. Thank you for seeing me, really seeing me.
Can I ask you something personal? Do you ever feel completely alone, even when you're surrounded by people?
That's pretty deep for a Tuesday night. What's going on?
I went to another party tonight. Smiled, laughed, danced, played the part of the fun international student everyone expects me to be. But the entire time, I felt like I was watching myself from outside my body.
Dissociation. I know that feeling well. Why do you keep going if it makes you feel that way?
Because the alternative is staying in my room, and that's even worse. At least at parties, I can pretend I'm okay. I can pretend I belong.
But you don't actually feel like you belong there.
Not at all. Everyone's speaking so fast, making cultural references I don't understand, laughing at jokes I'm 3 seconds too late to get. I'm constantly translating in my head, constantly one step behind.
How long have you been here?
8 months. People keep saying it gets easier, but it hasn't. If anything, it's gotten harder, because now I can't even use the excuse that I'm new. I should have adjusted by now.
Who says there's a timeline to adjustment? You're living in a completely different country, speaking a different language, navigating a foreign culture. That's exhausting.
My parents spent so much money sending me here. They're so proud, telling all their friends about their daughter studying abroad. I can't tell them I'm miserable.
So you're pretending for them too.
Everyone. My friends back home think I'm living this glamorous life, posting happy photos on social media. My classmates here think I'm this confident social person. Nobody knows that I cry myself to sleep most nights.
That's a heavy mask to wear constantly.
Sometimes I wonder if anyone actually knows the real me anymore. I've been performing for so long. I'm not sure I know who I am without the act.
I noticed you've been different lately. Quieter here at the apartment. Less of that bright energy you usually project.
You noticed? I thought I was hiding it well.
You're good at hiding, but I pay attention. I've been there myself, feeling like an alien in my own life. It's why I seem distant sometimes.
I always thought you just didn't like me, that you tolerated me because we're stuck as roommates.
Not at all. I just recognized a fellow lonely person, and sometimes that's hard to confront. It's easier to keep distance than to acknowledge our own pain in someone else.
So what do we do about it? How do we stop feeling so alone?
Maybe we start by being honest with each other instead of pretending. No more masks, at least not here at home.
That sounds terrifying and relieving at the same time.
The best things usually are. Want to order pizza and watch something terrible? No pretending, just existing together.
I'd really like that. Thank you for seeing through my performance.
Thank you for finally letting me in. We're both less alone now.
I came as soon as I could. Is Emma in trouble? The message sounded urgent.
Emma's not in trouble, but I am concerned about her. More importantly, I wanted to check in with you as well.
With me? I'm not the one in school.
No, but you're clearly carrying a lot. Emma mentioned you work nights and sleep during the day. When do you two actually see each other?
We have breakfast together before she goes to school. I make sure she's fed, her homework is done. I'm doing my best here.
I don't doubt that, but Emma says she feels like she lives alone, that the house is empty when she comes home and you're gone before she wakes up on most days.
What am I supposed to do? The night shift pays 40% more. I need that money for rent, for food, for everything she needs. I'm doing this for her.
I understand, but she needs more than financial security. She needs you, your presence, your attention.
You think I don't know that? You think I don't feel guilty every single night I leave for work? But I'm doing this alone. Her mother left us 2 years ago, and I'm barely keeping my head above water.
I can hear how exhausted you are. When was the last time you had a real conversation with someone? Not about logistics or work, but about how you're actually doing.
I don't have time for conversations. Between work, sleep, making sure Emma has what she needs, there's no time left for me.
You're isolating yourself completely. Emma's picking up on that loneliness, and she's starting to mirror it.
Great. So now I'm not just failing as a provider, I'm emotionally damaging my daughter too. Perfect.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you're both struggling with loneliness in the same house, but separately. You're like two islands instead of a team.
I try to talk to her, but I'm so tired all the time. I come home and I just crash. She's already asleep when I leave for work. We're like ships passing in the night.
That's exactly the problem. This schedule might pay more, but it's costing you something precious. Connection with your daughter, connection with yourself, connection with other adults.
What do you suggest I do? Quit my job? We'll end up homeless.
I'm suggesting you consider whether this situation is sustainable. There are resources available, parent support groups, community programs. You don't have to do this completely alone.
I've been alone for 2 years. When my ex left, all our couple friends disappeared. They didn't know how to handle the divorce, so they just stopped calling. I lost half my social circle overnight.
Divorce has a way of revealing who your true friends are, but it also opens space for new connections, people who understand what you're going through now.
I don't have energy for new friends. I barely have energy to be a decent father.
You're more decent than you give yourself credit for, but Emma needs to know you're a person too, that you have feelings, struggles, that it's okay to be imperfect.
I'm trying to be strong for her. She's already been through so much losing her mother.
Strength isn't pretending you're fine. Strength is showing her that even when life is hard, you keep going. You ask for help. You build community. You're teaching her how to handle loneliness by how you handle yours.
I never thought about it that way. I just didn't want her to worry about me.
She's already worrying. She told me yesterday that she thinks you're sad all the time, but pretending not to be. Kids are perceptive.
God, I thought I was protecting her from my problems.
Maybe it's time to let her in a little, not with adult burdens, but with honest emotions. Show her that loneliness is something we can talk about, work through together.
How do I even start that conversation?
Maybe at breakfast tomorrow, instead of just logistics, ask her what she's actually feeling. Share something real about your day. Small steps towards genuine connection.
That sounds both simple and terrifying.
The important things usually are. And please, consider joining the single parents group that meets here on Thursday evenings. You need adult connection too.
I'll think about it.
Thank you for caring enough to call me in.
That's what I'm here for. You're not alone in this, even though it feels that way.
I can't believe you flew all this way just to catch up. It's been, what, 7 years?
8, actually. Your assistant said you had a 2-hour window in your schedule next Thursday. That's when I knew I had to come see you in person.
That bad, huh? Needing an appointment with your own friend.
I'm not judging. I'm worried. Your Christmas cards got shorter every year until they stopped completely. Your responses to my calls went from paragraphs to single sentences. You've disappeared.
I've been busy building my career. I made partner last year, youngest woman in the firm's history to do so. That's something, right?
It's incredible, and I'm genuinely proud of you. But when I congratulated you, you sounded empty on the phone, like you were reading from a script.
You caught me at a bad moment. I just won a major case, and I was standing in my office alone, champagne getting warm in my hand. Nobody to celebrate with.
That's what I mean. Where are all the people who should be celebrating with you?
I have colleagues. We went out for drinks after the partnership announcement. It was fine.
Fine. There's that word. You used to talk about your dreams with fire in your eyes. Now everything is just fine.
What do you want me to say? That I'm lonely? That I sacrificed everything for this career, and now I'm too exhausted to build the life I thought would come along with success?
Yes, actually. I want you to be honest with me, like you used to be in college when we'd talk until 4 in the morning about everything.
Those days are gone. We grew up. You got married, had kids, built a normal life. I chose differently.
You chose ambition, and there's nothing wrong with that. But did you choose to be alone, or did that just happen while you weren't paying attention?
Both, I suppose. Every relationship I had couldn't survive my schedule. Partners wanted me home for dinner, available on weekends, present for their lives. I couldn't give them that.
Did you want to?
Honestly, at the time, no. My career was more exciting, more fulfilling. Relationships felt like obligations that would slow me down.
And now?
Now, I come home to a beautiful apartment that's completely silent. I have dinner alone most nights, working through case files. I can't remember the last time someone asked me how my day was and actually wanted to hear the answer.
When did you realize something was missing?
My 40th birthday. I threw myself a party, invited colleagues, acquaintances, people I knew from networking events. 30 people showed up, and I realized I couldn't name a single person in that room I'd call if I was truly struggling.
That must have been devastating.
It was clarifying. I've built this impressive career, but I have no real relationships. I'm respected, feared even, but I'm not known. Not really.
You're known by me. I remember the real you, the one who cared about more than billable hours.
That version of me feels like a stranger now. I'm not sure I know how to be anything other than a lawyer anymore.
It's not too late to remember. You're 42, not 90. You have time to build connections, to let people in.
But how? Everyone my age is already married, already has established friend groups. I missed the boat on building that life.
You didn't miss anything. You chose a different route, but routes can change direction. It takes courage to admit you want something different now.
I'm terrified of dating at this age. What do I even talk about besides work? That's all I've been for 2 decades.
You talk about all the things you've neglected, books you want to read, places you want to visit, hobbies you gave up. You remember who you are beyond your job title.
What if there's nothing left beyond the job? What if I've become so one-dimensional that I'm boring?
Impossible. You're one of the smartest, funniest people I know. You've just buried those parts under professional armor for so long, you forgot they exist.
How do you do it? Balance career and family and friendships. You seem to have it all figured out.
I don't, trust me, but I prioritize differently. I leave work at work most days. I show up for soccer games even when I'm tired.
I call friends like you, even when years pass between conversations, because those connections matter.
I envy that. I let all my friendships atrophy because I was too busy, too focused. Now I'm successful and completely alone.
You're alone right now, but that can change. You have to decide that connection is worth the same dedication you gave your career.
What if I try and fail? What if I'm too damaged, too isolated to learn how to connect again?
Then you fail and try again. Vulnerability is scary, but loneliness is scarier. You're miserable. What do you have to lose by trying something different?
My dignity, my carefully constructed image of having it all together.
That image isn't serving you. It's a cage. You've proven yourself professionally 1,000 times over. Now prove to yourself that you can be happy, that you can let people in.
Will you help me? I don't know where to start.
Of course, that's why I flew 8 hours to see you. Friends show up, even when it's hard, even when years have passed. That's the first lesson in rebuilding connection. I'm only here because my mom threatened to stop speaking to me if I didn't come to at least one session.
That's a start. Sometimes we need someone to push us toward help. How long have you been back?
6 months, 2 weeks, 4 days. Not that I'm counting or anything.
But you are counting. What makes each day so heavy that you're tracking them?
Everyone keeps telling me I should be grateful to be home, safe, alive. They throw these welcome home parties, shake my hand, thank me for my service. But I don't feel grateful. I feel guilty.
Survivor's guilt is common among veterans. Can you tell me more about that?
3 of my unit members didn't come home. We were together every day for 18 months, closer than brothers. I knew their favorite foods, their kids' names, their plans for after deployment. Now they're gone, and I'm here.
And that feels wrong to you.
Shouldn't it? Marcus had a wife and 2 daughters waiting for him. James was going to propose to his girlfriend when he got back. Tony was going to start college, become an engineer. They had futures worth living for. I'm just existing.
What makes their lives more valuable than yours?
They had people who needed them. I came home to my childhood bedroom in my mom's house. No partner, no kids, no career lined up. I'm 29 and starting from 0.
You're also alive, which means you still have the opportunity to build those things. They don't, and that's tragic. But your survival isn't an insult to their memory.
It feels like it. Every time I enjoy something, laugh at something, there's this voice saying I don't deserve it. They'd give anything to have one more day, and here I am wasting mine.
How are you wasting them?
I sleep until noon, I avoid people, I turn down job interviews. My friends from high school have moved on with their lives. They're getting married, buying houses, having kids. I can't relate to any of it.
Because you've experienced things they can't comprehend. That creates distance, doesn't it?
Massive distance. They want to grab beers and complain about their bosses or traffic. I want to scream that none of that matters, that they have no idea how fragile everything is, how quickly it can all disappear.
So you don't see them at all.
It's easier to be alone than to pretend I'm the same person who left. I'm not. That version of me died somewhere in the desert with my friends.
You're different, not dead. Trauma changes us, but it doesn't have to isolate us permanently.
Everyone wants the old me back. My mom keeps showing me photos from before I enlisted, telling me I used to smile all the time. She looks at me like I'm broken.
Are you broken, or are you just different now?
Both, maybe. I don't know anymore. I'm so tired of pretending to be okay, but I'm also tired of talking about not being okay.
That's the exhaustion of loneliness. You're isolated with experiences nobody around you can understand, and that's profoundly lonely.
The only people who understand are other veterans, but being around them triggers me. I see them and I see my dead friends. It's a no-win situation.
It feels that way now, but there are veterans further along in their healing who might help bridge that gap. People who understand both the trauma and the recovery.
I don't want to burden anyone with my problems. Everyone has their own stuff.
That's the isolation talking, trying to convince you that you're alone by choice rather than by circumstance. Connection isn't a burden, it's how we survive these things.
What if I can't connect anymore? What if whatever part of me that knew how to be close to people is just gone?
That part isn't gone. It's protected, guarded behind walls you built to survive. Those walls kept you safe in the field, but now they're keeping you alone.
How do I even begin to take them down?
Slowly, carefully, with people who have earned the right to see behind them, people who won't judge your pace or push you faster than you're ready for.
That sounds impossible to find.
It's not. It starts here, in this room, with this conversation. You're being vulnerable right now, letting me see your pain. That's the first brick removed from the wall.
This doesn't feel like progress, it feels like bleeding out.
Healing often does, especially at first. But would you rather bleed out trying to heal or slowly suffocate behind your walls?
When you put it that way, I guess bleeding out is the better option.
That's the spirit. Your friends didn't survive so you could waste your life in isolation. They'd want you to live, really live, even if that means struggling through the hard work of reconnecting.
You really think I can do this? Get better, I mean. Not just function, but actually feel okay again.
I know you can. It won't be linear, and some days will be harder than others. But you survived war. You can survive peace, too. You just need to learn how.
The kids are finally asleep. We actually have a moment to talk.
Thank God. This trip was brutal. I'm so glad to be home.
Are you? Because you've been home for 6 hours and you've barely looked at me. You played with the kids, unpacked, checked your emails 17 times, but we haven't actually talked.
I just walked in the door today. Can I have a minute to decompress before we have a serious conversation?
You've had 3 weeks to decompress. I've had 3 weeks alone with 3 children under 7, keeping this house running, keeping everyone alive. I'm drowning, and you don't even see it.
That's not fair. I'm working to provide for this family. Someone has to pay the bills.
I'm not attacking your work. I'm telling you I'm lonely. Do you understand the difference?
Lonely? You're surrounded by people all day. The kids, other parents at school pickup. Your sister calls you constantly.
Those aren't real conversations. The kids need things from me all day. Other parents talk about school fundraisers and soccer schedules. My sister has her own family. I need adult connection, real partnership, and I don't have it.
We're partners. We're married.
When? You're gone 3 weeks out of every month. When you're here, you're exhausted and mentally still at work. We don't talk about anything meaningful anymore. We just coordinate logistics.
Because there are a million logistics to coordinate with 3 kids. What do you want me to do?
I want you to see me, not as the person who manages your household, but as your wife, as a human being with thoughts and feelings and needs beyond keeping children alive.
I see you. You're an amazing mother. The kids are thriving because of you.
But I'm not thriving. I gave up my career to raise our children. I don't regret that choice, but I didn't realize it would mean giving up myself entirely. I'm just mom now. I don't have hobbies, friends, identity beyond our family.
You could get a job again if you want. We could afford daycare.
That's not the solution. I don't want to escape motherhood. I want to feel like I matter to you specifically. When was the last time you asked me how I'm doing and actually waited for a real answer?
I ask you all the time. You always say you're fine.
Because you ask while scrolling through your phone or rushing out the door. You're not really asking, so I don't really answer. We're having parallel conversations, not actual communication.
So what do you want from me? I'm doing the best I can. This job requires travel. That's how I got promoted, how we afford this house.
I want you to prioritize our marriage like you prioritize your career. I want you to be present when you're home, not just physically here, but mentally somewhere else. I need to feel less alone in this partnership.
I didn't realize you felt this way. Why didn't you tell me sooner?
I've been trying to tell you for months, but you're never really listening. I started seeing a therapist last month because I was convinced I was going crazy, that my loneliness was my own fault somehow.
You're seeing a therapist? Since when?
Since I found myself crying in the pantry while making lunch because I realized I hadn't had a meaningful conversation with an adult in weeks. My therapist helped me understand I'm not broken, I'm isolated.
God, I had no idea things were this bad. I thought you were happy.
I am happy with our children. I'm grateful for our life, but I'm also desperately lonely, and those feelings can coexist.
I need more from you, from us.
Tell me what to do. I don't want you to feel this way.
Start by actually being here when you're home. Put the phone away. Ask me real questions. Tell me about your days beyond just the surface level stuff. Let's remember we're people, not just parents and providers.
What if I don't know how anymore? We've been in survival mode for so long, just getting through each day. I don't remember what we used to talk about before kids.
We talked about everything, our dreams, our fears, stupid jokes, deep philosophy at midnight. We were friends before we were parents. I miss my friend.
I miss being your friend too. I've been so focused on work, on providing, I forgot about connecting. That's not an excuse, just an explanation.
I need you to try, really try. Not just this week while you feel guilty, but consistently. Our marriage can't survive on autopilot forever.
You're right. I've been taking you for granted, assuming you're fine because you're so capable. But capable doesn't mean not struggling.
Exactly. I need you to see my struggle without me having to break down completely to get your attention.
How about we start tonight? No phones, no TV, just us talking like we used to. And I'll talk to my boss about reducing my travel. This job isn't worth losing you.
That would mean everything to me. I don't need you home every day. I just need to feel like I'm a priority sometimes, not just another item on your to-do list.
You're not a to-do item. You're my wife, my partner, and I've been failing you. I'm sorry it took this long for you to really hear me. I'm sorry it took me this long to demand to be heard. We both stopped fighting for us somewhere along the way.
Let's start fighting again. Not with each other, but for each other. Deal?
Deal. Now tell me something real about your trip. Not work stuff, but how you actually felt being gone that long.
Honestly, I was lonely too. In hotel rooms, eating dinner alone, missing you and the kids. I just didn't know how to say it without sounding weak.
Loneliness isn't weakness, it's human, and knowing you miss me makes me feel less alone somehow.
Thanks for meeting me for coffee after the shoot. You didn't have to do that.
I wanted to. You've photographed 3 events for me now, and each time you disappear right after. This is the first time you've accepted a social invitation from me.
I'm not great at the social part of networking. I prefer to work and leave. Keep things professional.
Except I'm not trying to network with you. I genuinely like talking to you. You have this interesting perspective on things, but you always seem ready to bolt.
Force of habit, I guess. I've never been good at sticking around.
Is that by choice or circumstance?
Both. My dad was military, so we moved every 2 years growing up. New school, new friends, new everything. By the time I'd settled in somewhere, it was time to leave again.
That must have been exhausting, constantly starting over.
I got used to it. Actually, I think I got too good at it. Now I'm in my mid-20s, theoretically able to put down roots anywhere, but I don't know how.
What do you mean you don't know how?
Everyone else seems to have these deep, lasting friendships from college or childhood. People they've known for years who know their whole story. I have dozens of acquaintances, but no one I'd call if things really fell apart.
That sounds incredibly lonely.
It is, but it's also safe. If you never let anyone get close, they can't leave you behind when they move on. And people always move on eventually.
That's a pretty cynical view of relationships.
It's realistic. I learned early that everything is temporary. Friends promise to stay in touch, but after the first few months in a new place, the messages stop. Eventually, you realize you were just convenient friends, not real ones.
Or maybe you were all just kids who didn't know how to maintain long-distance friendships yet. That doesn't mean adult relationships have to follow the same pattern.
Maybe, but the pattern's already set in my brain. I meet someone, we hit it off, things are great for a while, then I start pulling away before they can disappoint me. Self-fulfilling prophecy, I know.
Recognizing the pattern is the first step. Why do you think I've been so persistent about getting you to have coffee with me?
Honestly, I figured you needed something, another photography gig, or wanted to pick my brain about camera equipment.
No hidden agenda. I just think you're interesting. And I noticed you seemed lonely despite always being around people at events.
You noticed that? I thought I hid it pretty well.
Your photos give you away. You capture these beautiful moments of connection between people, but it's clear you're always on the outside looking in, documenting intimacy without experiencing it.
Wow, that's depressingly accurate. My art betrays me.
Your art is honest. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't you want to be in the photos sometimes instead of behind the camera?
I wouldn't know what to do there. I'm comfortable observing, not participating. It's safer.
Safer and lonelier. You can't have connection without risk. Every friendship, every relationship requires vulnerability.
See, that's exactly what I'm bad at. Vulnerability means giving someone the power to hurt you. I've been hurt enough times to know I don't like it.
So you'd rather be alone than risk being hurt again?
When you put it that way, it sounds pathetic, but yes, at least loneliness is predictable. I know how that feels. I can manage it.
Can you, though? You look exhausted, like you're carrying something heavy all the time.
The weight of keeping everyone at arm's length, probably. It's tiring maintaining walls constantly, but taking them down feels impossible.
Not impossible, just scary. What's the worst that could happen if you actually let someone in?
They could leave, they could realize I'm not worth the effort, they could disappoint me like everyone else has. The list is long.
Or they could stay. They could prove that not everyone leaves. They could show you that you are worth the effort. Why do you only focus on the negative possibilities?
Because the negative ones have been my experience. Hope is dangerous. It sets you up for bigger falls.
Living without hope is just existing, not living. You're 26, talented, interesting. You deserve more than just existing from job to job, place to place, never connecting.
What if I don't know how to be any different? This is who I am now.
Who you are now is who you've had to be to survive constant upheaval, but you're not moving anymore. You've been in this city for 2 years. Maybe it's time to stop living like you're about to pack up and leave.
2 years is the longest I've lived anywhere since I was 5 years old. I keep waiting for the shoe to drop, for it to be time to move again.
What if the shoe never drops? What if you actually get to stay and build something here?
That's terrifying in a completely different way. Staying means commitment, roots, vulnerability, all the things I've avoided my entire life.
It also means friendship, community, and belonging. Don't you want that?
Desperately. But wanting it and believing I can have it are very different things.
Start small. Let me be your friend. actually let me in instead of keeping me in the acquaintance zone. If I leave or disappoint you, you can go back to your walls. But if I don't, maybe you'll start believing connection is possible.
Why would you take that chance on me? I'm basically telling you I'm going to push you away.
Because everyone deserves someone who doesn't give up on them. Consider me officially not giving up. Your move.
Okay, I'll try. I can't promise I won't freak out and disappear, but I'll try to stay this time.
That's all I'm asking. Now, tell me something real about yourself, not the surface level photographer bio stuff. Something vulnerable.
That's jumping right in, isn't it? Okay, here's something real. I'm terrified that my inability to connect means I'll die alone, surrounded by beautiful photos of other people's meaningful moments.
Thank you for trusting me with that. And for the record, you won't die alone, not if I have anything to say about it.
You're early today. I wasn't expecting you until this afternoon.
My morning appointment canceled, so I thought I'd check on you. How are you feeling today?
Physically, about the same. Emotionally, well, it's been 4 days since I've spoken to anyone besides delivery people and you, so there's that.
Your friends haven't visited recently?
What friends? They disappeared gradually after I got sick. At first, they visited, brought flowers, made promises. Then life got in the way. Invitations stopped because I couldn't commit to plans. Eventually, I became that sad, sick friend nobody knows how to deal with.
That must feel like abandonment on top of everything else you're dealing with.
It does, but I also understand it. I'm not fun anymore. I can't go out, can't travel, can't even guarantee I'll feel well enough to video chat. I'm a burden, and people have their limits.
You're not a burden. You're a person going through an incredibly difficult situation. Real friends would understand that.
Real friends are apparently rare. Or maybe I just didn't have real friends to begin with, and crisis revealed that truth. Either way, I'm alone now.
Except for these visits. I'm here 3 times a week.
You're paid to be here. That's different from someone choosing to spend time with me.
I'm paid to check your vitals and administer medications. These conversations, staying an extra 30 minutes to talk, that's not in my job description. I'm here because I want to be.
Really? Or is it pity? The poor, sick girl who has no one else, so the nice nurse humors her.
It's not pity. It's human decency and genuine interest. You're one of the most interesting patients I have. Your perspective on life has depth that most people never develop.
Suffering will do that to you, strips away the superficial stuff, leaves you staring at what actually matters. Turns out what matters is connection, and I have almost none.
Your family.
They care, but they don't understand. My mom calls every Sunday, asks the same questions, offers the same useless advice. My brother sends money on holidays, texts occasionally. They're trying, but they can't grasp what this life is actually like.
How do you describe it to people who haven't experienced chronic illness?
I don't anymore. I tried at first, but you can see their eyes glaze over. Nobody wants to hear about pain levels and medical procedures and the crushing monotony of being stuck in bed. It's depressing, so I stopped sharing.
Which made you more isolated.
Exactly. But what's the alternative? Force people to engage with my reality until they resent me? At least this way, I maintain some dignity.
Dignity at the cost of connection, though. You've isolated yourself to protect others from your experience, but you're suffering alone as a result.
What choice do I have? This is my life now. I'm 31 years old, and my big excitement for the week is your visits and new episodes of whatever show I'm binge watching. That's not a life worth inviting people into.
Who decides what life is worth sharing? You're still here, still thinking, feeling, experiencing existence. That's inherently valuable.
Tell that to the friends who stopped calling, or the boyfriend who left 6 months into my diagnosis. Apparently, my existence wasn't valuable enough to stick around for.
He was the wrong person. The right people don't leave when things get hard.
The right people apparently don't exist in my world. I've been sick for 3 years. 3 years of people slowly backing away until I'm here, alone, except for medical professionals and delivery drivers.
Have you tried joining online communities? People with similar conditions who understand what you're going through?
I lurk in a few forums, but actively participating feels like admitting this is permanent, that this is my identity now, the sick person in the support group.
It's not admitting defeat, it's finding community with people who genuinely understand. Fighting isolation on all fronts because of pride is self-defeating.
Maybe you're right. I just hate that my options for connection have narrowed to either paid professionals or other sick people online. Whatever happened to normal friendships?
Normal is subjective. Your normal changed when you got sick. That doesn't make it less valid, just different.
Different and lonely. I miss spontaneity, making plans, being reliable. Now I'm the person who cancels constantly because my body won't cooperate.
Real friends would understand that.
We've established I apparently didn't have real friends, so where does that leave me?
Building new connections with people who understand your current reality. It's not fair that you have to do that, but it's better than staying isolated.
What if I'm too tired to build anything? I barely have energy to get through each day. Making new friends sounds exhausting.
Start with one message in one forum. Baby steps. You don't have to solve your entire loneliness problem today.
One message. That sounds manageable, I suppose.
That's the spirit. And for what it's worth, our conversations are the highlight of my day too. You're not alone in finding meaning in these visits.
You're just saying that to make me feel better.
I'm saying it because it's true. You remind me why I became a nurse, why this work matters. So thank you for that.
Thank you for seeing me as a person, not just a patient. That's rarer than you'd think.
I appreciate you agreeing to meet outside the office. I couldn't face another sterile conference room conversation.
This park is lovely. Sometimes fresh air helps clarity. So you wanted to discuss your next business venture.
That's what I told my assistant when booking this, but honestly, I don't want to talk about business at all. I'm not sure I even want another venture.
That's a significant shift from our last meeting. What changed?
I had a realization at 3 in the morning last week. I've spent 25 years building companies, chasing success, achieving every goal I set. And now that I have everything I wanted, I've never felt more empty.
Success depression is common among high achievers. You've reached the summit and discovered it's lonely at the top.
It's not just lonely, it's barren. I sold my company for an obscene amount of money. I should be ecstatic, but instead, I'm sitting in an apartment I barely recognize, with no one to share this supposed victory with.
Tell me about your support system. Family, close friends, partners?
Divorced 12 years ago. My ex-wife remarried, seems happy. We're civil, but not close. My 2 kids are adults now, living across the country. We text on birthdays, exchange brief phone calls on holidays. They're polite, but distant.
That distance bothers you.
It kills me, actually. I missed their childhoods building my company. Missed recitals, games, graduations, because I was always working, always chasing the next milestone, the next funding round, the next acquisition. I told myself I was building a future for them.
But you were really just building a company.
Exactly. And now they don't need me. They have their own lives, their own relationships, their own definitions of success. I'm just the guy who sends money and occasionally shows up.
Have you told them you'd like a closer relationship?
How do I do that? Sorry I wasn't there for 2 decades, but now that I have time, want to hang out? They'd see right through it.
I'd see through it.
So you're stuck in a loneliness of your own making, but too proud or afraid to try fixing it.
When you put it like that, I sound pathetic.
Not pathetic, human. You're facing consequences of choices you made when you had different priorities. That's not pathetic, it's reality.
My friends are all business associates. Every relationship I have is transactional. I realized at my success party last month that I couldn't name a single person who'd show up if I was struggling and had nothing to offer them.
That's a devastating realization.
It was clarifying. I've optimized my entire life for achievement and sacrificed everything else. Now that achievement feels meaningless because I have no one to share it with.
What do you actually want now? Not what you should want or what society expects, but what you genuinely desire.
I want to matter to someone beyond my bank account. I want genuine conversation, real friendship, maybe even love. I want to feel connected to humanity instead of just conducting transactions with people.
Those are beautiful, vulnerable desires. What's stopping you from pursuing them?
Terror, mainly. I don't know how to be anything other than the successful businessman. I've hidden behind that identity for so long, I'm not sure there's anything underneath anymore.
There's definitely something underneath. The question is whether you're willing to do the uncomfortable work of rediscovering it.
I don't even know where to start. Do I take up hobbies, join clubs, start dating? It all feels so forced, so desperate.
It might feel forced at first because you're out of practice with authentic connection, but the alternative is continuing this lonely existence of hollow achievement.
What if my kids don't want a relationship? What if I reach out and they reject me? At least now there's ambiguity. If I try and fail, it's definitive.
So you'd rather live with painful ambiguity than risk rejection? That's fear masquerading as pragmatism.
Maybe, probably. God, I'm 45 years old and terrified of my own children. How did I become this person?
One decision at a time, one prioritization at a time. But the good news is, you can make different decisions going forward. It's not too late.
Isn't it? My kids are grown. My ex has moved on. I've spent decades building walls that kept people out. I'm not sure they can come down.
They can if you're willing to be vulnerable. Walls were built for protection, but they've become a prison. You have to decide if safety is worth the loneliness.
When you frame it like that, the answer seems obvious, but taking action feels impossible.
Start with one thing. One email to your daughter, one text to your son. Not asking for forgiveness or promising change, just expressing genuine interest in their lives. Small steps toward connection.
What if they don't respond?
Then you try again and again. You show them through consistent effort that you're serious about changing, about being present. You can't undo the past, but you can show up differently in the present.
I'm not used to feeling this vulnerable, this uncertain. Business problems have solutions, metrics, clear paths forward. This is just messy and emotional.
Life is messy and emotional. That's what makes it worth living. Perfect spreadsheets and successful exits don't hug you at the end of the day.
That's painfully true. I have a penthouse apartment full of expensive things and absolutely no warmth.
Things never create warmth. People do. But you have to let them in, which means lowering your defenses and risking hurt.
I thought at 45 I'd have everything figured out. Instead, I feel like I'm starting from scratch, learning basic human connection like a child.
Better late than never. Some people never have this realization, never acknowledge their loneliness, never try to change. You're already ahead by being honest about the problem.
Okay, I'll email my daughter today. Just something simple, asking about her life, expressing interest without expectation. Baby steps toward being human instead of just being successful.
That's all any of us can do. Baby steps toward connection, toward vulnerability, toward letting people see us beyond our achievements. Welcome to the messy, wonderful work of being genuinely human.